Hello there. My name is Haley, and I'm going to be your personal stylist for the next couple of weeks. So, obviously, you signed up for the service, so you have a basic idea of what's going on. But, I'm gonna walk you through today. Today, I'm pretty much just gonna walk you through what we're gonna be doing, just because it's a lot. Basically, as you know, you have you got the full service, which means that we're going to be pretty much evaluating everything, so that you can have the top style, the best styling for yourself possible. And it's really fun. It's really nice when everything comes together too. So I think you'll actually like it. I think it'll be okay. Some parts are tedious, some parts are less tedious, but we'll get through it together. So, I also want to say really quickly, because I end up sounding a little bit like I expect you to follow every rule I set. These are not rules. We're not setting rules together. We're not setting rules together, and that is the key word, together. We're doing this together. We're not setting rules, we're setting suggestions and guidelines that you can follow, or you can choose to break. Because, that's the thing that makes art pretty great, right? Being able to know how something is supposed to be and play with it and break it. So, you'll be able to do that. So we're not setting rules. I'm not controlling what you wear at all. So, let's get started talking about you. I'm going to be starting a file for you. So I have an empty folder right now, and I have to ask, basic questions for my portfolio for you. So let me get my form. Okay, I have it here, my little clipboard. Let's get started. Okay. So, that is too long. Okay. So, can you give me your first and last name and how to spell it? Just just for double checking. Okay. And would you mind telling me your age? You don't have to. Or alternately, you can tell me your birthday or both. Okay. Yeah, people might choose to also dress differently based on their age. It also doesn't mean you have to, and I'm not even saying you can't wear crop tops if you're 30. I mean sort of more like if you're younger, then you might not like skinny jeans, but if you're kind of a bit older, like millennial age, you still might want those in your closet, So, that's why that's sort of relevant, and it's still up to you. Okay, so that's your age and name. Do you know your height offhand? Okay, yeah. And you're welcome to share your weight. You also don't have to. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, what else do we need? Oh, I need your phone number. I don't need everything on this form, is sort of the thing. So, it's sort of like a standard form that you might get online, where certain things aren't necessary for my kind of business, but might be necessary for something else, something financial, or something, hospitals or medical practices, like social security number. You don't need social security number to learn what colors work best for you. Yeah. Can you give me your, and is this a cell phone or a home phone? Is it okay okay to text you if that's necessary. I won't text you spam or anything. This is a small operation. I don't really have time to spam. Yeah. Okay. And can you give me your zip code? So you do live in the area. Okay, so this isn't too much of a trek for you. That's good. And your email address? Okay. So, I will probably readdress this a bit later, but like when we're talking about specific products. But as of now, are you aware of anything that you're allergic to, or any skin sensitivities, anything like that, that might, you know, be important to note, or just sort of requirements for products, you know, specifically cruelty-free things or things like that. Yeah, and that's just preferred. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. And do you have a good budget for products? So you've already paid my fees for all of my services and everything, but you know, if me and you are picking out, like, you don't have to buy any of the things that I suggest, but you know, if you say my makeup budget is, you know, one thing, then it might be, you know, if you say my makeup budget is sort of on the lower end versus the higher end, then it might be like, you know, getting you know, Wet n Wild palette, which I totally support, versus getting, you know, like something like an Urban Decay palette that would run you, you know, $50 or something. Yeah, so that's just what the budget is about. You could give me a range. It's nothing that you have to spend now, just so I know what I'm looking at. And no judgment at all. I mean, if you were just doing this for fun, it's not really my business why you're doing it. Yeah. Okay, and then the last thing is, can you just give me an idea of why you are doing this? Is it for fun? Is it for something specific? What are you hoping to get out of it? Again, no judgments at all here. I just not really need to know, but it makes it a lot easier for us to work together and to sort of like build rapport if, you know, if I know what you want. Because, you know, perhaps you don't want any kinds of, you know, new products or anything. So that might be a waste of time, whereas you might have, you know, you might not want makeup products or something. You might not care about skincare. So it's important for me to know just sort of what you want out of this. You know, maybe you just want it for business and formal things. Or just interested. And you've never done anything like this before. Okay. And obviously we're going to keep talking throughout the process, and let me just put this stuff in your folder. Okay. So we have a folder for you that I will update with notes that I eventually type up, and you'll get a copy of all of the notes I take, and then when we distill everything as well, you'll get a copy of those things as well. But you know, you really don't want a copy of my handwritten notes. They're actually illegible. Actually, truly. So what I do have here, actually, for now, is my notebook that I just take notes in. I have, you know, various ones of these for different clients because they have subject dividers. So this is a 2-subject notebook, and you're going to be the second subject of the notebook. So, this is just so I can make any extra notes, but it also has my notes on what I really know about you. So, the services that we're gonna do are, it's gonna be a lot. Are you ready? Okay. If you turn any down, that's also okay. Yeah, we can talk, but, you know. So, we're going to be doing, a lot of measuring. So, you know, I just have this measuring tape that I use, and you know, it's just a plain measuring tape, and this is going to become a very intimate friend of yours soon, because you're going to see it an awful lot. Because I'm going to be measuring your face, I'm going to measure your body, I'm going to measure your hands, I'm going to measure your feet, because, you know, for example, your hands, we're going to look at nail stuff as well, so you know the best nail shape and colors and stuff like that. I mean, legitimately, we're going to make sure you have every possible tool to be, you know, be comfortable, stylistically. One thing that inspired me to go into the styling business is when I was in college, a friend was dressing very, you know, baggy clothes and hoodie. And I liked the idea of dressing cutely, but I felt awkward. And, you know, my roommate, one of my best friends in college basically said, it's important that we're comfortable in what clothes we wear, not just in terms of like physical comfort and them being comfy, but in terms of how they fit us personally, which I think is something that's really not taken into account enough, you know? It's sort of, you should be cute, so you should be wearing a clubbing dress, or you should look handsome, so you should be wearing this sort of suit. It really needs to be personal and what you're comfortable with, what makes you feel like you know? Yeah. Like, you know, even when chokers are completely out of fashion, they may be somewhat out of fashion. They still really are like something I really personally like, you know, things like that. Okay. Yeah, so that kind of thing. I have a ruler, as well. I mostly use the measuring tape, but this is good if I want, like, sort of just, you know, it's, I mean, stiffer, obviously, basically. But we're going to be measuring your face, your body, your hands, your feet. And this may be broken up into a couple of sessions, depending on how long it goes and how much free time you have to do them, but we'll see. We'll also be doing a color analysis, which is such a fun part. So, I keep this color wheel. Let me just take it out of its wrapping. Yes, so I have this color wheel, and basically what it's gonna do for us is, you know, give us an idea of the best colors for you. So it has two sides, as you can see, and it's got this movable wheel aspect, and I will be comparing your hair tone, your skin tone, your eye color, your, you know, just general coloring and everything like that, to see what colors will look best on you. Things like hair color are a little bit variable, because if you end up wanting to dye your hair, that could change things a little bit, but I think a lot of it, like, I think skin tone and eye color are big parts. Probably bigger, I think, personally, than hair color. So, this will give us, these are for color theory, it's for painters and things like that. This gives us, you know, we have warmer and cooler colors, these oranges and yellows, these blues and greens, warm, cool. You know, gives us explanations of everything. It's very nice to use, actually. So it shows us the this side shows us the, and this side too, both show us the sort of color temperature, but also this one is for the tint, which is any color plus white, so the amount of white added to the color. So like we have this yellow that gets whiter basically. And yeah. And we also have, and we also have shades, which is any color plus gray on the other side. So this is getting sort of more gray, a little bit darker and things like that. So the thing is that we can do it in terms of seasons and stuff. You've probably heard that, like I'm in autumn, I'm a summer. You know, which I always think is sort of fun and silly, but actually kind of accurate sometimes. But we can do it in those terms. But if you are aware of those ones, it might help understand the whole thing somewhat. Like, you know, typically autumns have like sort of muted colors, so like you might have something that's just you know, a little bit more or less saturated. So you have these sort of like dull colors. Like, do I have an example? Yes, I do. This is sort of like darker and a bit duller than like this bright red notebook, for example. Like I don't look good in bright red, really. It just doesn't work. So that's the kind of thing we'll be doing, and you know, we can find out which of each kind, like what kinds of shades of each color that you can, you know, not can wear, but which will look best on you. And that will also be what specific colors look best on you. So you might look really good in greens, not so good in purples. But if you'd like to wear purples, we might say, you know, you might want something sort of along this line here, and these sort of lighter colors that have sort of more white in them and things like that. Yeah. They also give us, here's how this sort of works. This points to a color, this first arrow here, and then it has this triangle. It gives a triad, or let's start with complementary. In elementary school, I assume you probably learned about complementary colors and primary colors. So primary colors being like blue, red, yellow, and complementary colors being the opposite. So complement to red is yellow plus blue, which makes green, you know, your Christmas colors. And they can be used to really make contrast. They can be used for something that is nice. They can be used for good or for evil. Your complements, your color complements. You know, you could wear, you know, bright blue basketball shorts and a bright orange t-shirt, and that might be a little bit alarming. But you also might be able to have like a sort of pattern that's sort of designed to be eye-catching that you might want to use. Something like that. So, you know, complement to blue is orange, to yellow is purple, to red is green. But it's not that simple, of course, because what do you do about blue-green? What do you do about blue-violet? What do you do about orange-red, you know? So that's where this comes in. So we'll point to something, like let's say we point to orange-red here. It's going to show us our specific complement to this. The opposite of orange-red is going to be our green-blue. So that's going to show our, you know, solid, really eye-catching color opposites. Then we also have the split complements, which is the colors on either side of the complement. So we have red-orange, and it splits into blue and blue-green. These are the split complementary colors. We have the triad, which are colors that are equally spaced from each other that contrast with our colors. So, well, not contrast with our color, but these contrasts. So red-orange contrasts the most with blue-violet and yellow-green. So if we're trying to do these things that sort of work together in that way, and like we could use, you know, if we're looking for like a three-toned look that is a little bit, you know, contrasting and everything, then we can do like a triad. Monochromatic is single color. And then we have the analogous colors, like harmony. That's going to be like 3 to 5 colors that are or hues, hues that are adjacent to each other. So if we want a very harmonious look, for example, we could pick yellow, green, green, blue, blue, violet, blue, blue, violet. If we wanted a less colorful look, these are harmonious colors. Red, red, ooh, did I read? Oh yeah, sorry. Red, orange, yellow, orange. And of course we can just move that anywhere. So if we want yellow, orange still, but we kind of want it to be, like we want to get away from the other oranges a little bit more. We'll get into the greens, then we can do yellow, orange, yellow, yellow, green, for example. Or take these reds if you want to work in some red and blue together. So there's that. And then there's also analogous complementary. There's analogous complementary, which is when you have the analogous colors that you're using as well as the complement. So you have these harmonious colors and the opposite color that you can use for pop. Okay? So that's our color wheel. It's gonna be fun. And this is really useful for all kinds of things, of course. You need to know what your harmonious colors are for clothing colors, for makeup colors, for hair color if you wanted to change your hair color, for, if you wanted, I don't know, just a nail color, that, shoes, for just pretty much everything, pretty much everything that isn't shape-based. So it's going to be very useful. You'll also have to do a little bit more color in terms of color matching for tone and things like that. Sort of for makeup and things like that. Like this is not going to give us a good idea of what your actual skin tone is, what color matches it, things like that. But we're gonna just mess around with makeup some other time as well. It'll maybe be separate. We might take a little look. You might take a look at like what your specific eye color is in case you would like to match eyeshadow to your eye color or something. Whatever it is that you want to do. So those are our colors. This could get broken pretty easily. Keep it in the bag and in the little envelope. There we go. Now, what else are we doing? I'm also going to do a body type analysis. There are some sort of quizzes and questions that we can ask, or that we can look, talk about together. That might give us a bit of an idea of a sort of style about what fit your body type, which absolutely does not mean that's what you have to wear. That's sort of one of the ones that I'm a bit more skeptical about. And it's really just in case you, I mostly see it as you're going somewhere very formal and your partner tells you you really need to dress up, you need to look really dapper, but you don't really know what to wear exactly, and it's like you don't necessarily have to be very you or something, but it also could be very you. So things like that, like in your body type you might look good in flowy clothes or something like that. You also might just hate flowy clothes, and that's fine. We're also going to do face type analysis. This is very important for brow shape, for makeup, and we're going to talk about makeup styles for you. So for example, what the best things like blush placement are for you, and what the best sort of eyeshadow, eyeliner styles are for you. Eyebrow shapes, what eyebrow shapes are good for you. If you're interested in playing with things like lip shape and size, we can talk about whether or not sort of different lip styles, overlining your lips or something would really work for you. And again, you can still do it, but I will be honest with you if I think it looks good or not. It's my job. So face shape also for hairstyles and things like that. So those are important, body and face type analysis. I'm also going to do a little bit of a hair analysis because we're going to talk hairstyles. We're going to do some styling and playing around. I love your hair. It's very nice. But, I need to know a bit more about it, like how sort of porous it is, how curly it typically is right after you wash it, after a few days, how often you need to wash it, how oily it is, how, if it's relatively dry, if you end up with dry ends but a sort of oily scalp. All of these things, you know. We're also going to be doing skin type analysis along the same lines, which kind of includes things like how oily your skin is, like whether your skin is oily combination or dry. You know, you might have some oil here and kind of tend to be sort of oily here or on your chin or something, but get, you know, some dry patches elsewhere, you know. I'm really sorry if you can hear the children in the building. They are having fun, so I can't really fault them. They are our future. But yeah, so we're going to talk about your skin type so that we can get you on board with whatever you need to have the nicest skin possible, because that is one of the biggest deals in terms of how you look. People neglect skincare so much. You know, if your skin, and it also is important, I would recommend, like I said, none of this is required. I would so strongly recommend that you really take your skincare seriously for your own comfort, because things like acne, they hurt. They're uncomfortable. They're unpleasant. Things like dry skin can be really itchy and unpleasant. You know, this is about also just, that's about physical comfort and things like that as well. So that's our skin analysis. And I also probably will be doing taking some pictures if you're comfortable, and you know, you can do some before and after pictures and things like that, as well as pictures for me to sort of analyze to bring you suggestions when I'm doing my work outside of our meetings. Obviously, you don't need to be here when I'm scrolling through, you know, websites and looking for the correct things for you, the best things for you. Oh, for colors, I also have some color samples we can compare more specifically for you. I'm gonna look at those. They're actually like paint samples, but it works perfectly fine for people. Like clothes, not painting people. So yeah, I have a sketchbook here. I'm probably gonna do little sketches of you, some basic quick sketches, some little face sketches. I'll probably do some face shape drawings so that I can play, well, I or we can play around with brow shapes and things like that. So we're probably gonna do that. And not today, but a bit later. So like I said, we've got a lot to get through, and then we have to sort of talk about it all. It's the sort of thing that builds on itself steadily. So we're gonna have to kind of loop back around to things. So when you pick your makeup preferences, then that's gonna affect your clothes a bit, but then you may want your clothes to be a little bit different than your makeup preferences allow. So we might go back and tweak your makeup, and you know, so basically we're gonna be talking about makeup. So that's colors and style, how to contour your face for you, for the best look, how to do your eyeshadow, your eyeliner, everything. That's going to include eye shape analysis as well and things like that. Basically total face analysis. We're also going to be doing nails, like I said, and hands. So basically we're going to look at your hands and take into account how you like your hands, what things that you need, whether or not you can have nails, whether or not you need to have nails, whether or not you would like to have nails, what colors would be better, what nail shape if you do have longer nails, and things like that. Like for me, I keep short nails on one hand because when I play guitar, the nails get in the way, but I've also found that I kind of like having nails, you know, like they're pretty useful. I like annoying people by tapping on things. My mom used to yell at me all the time whenever I would grow out my nails. Like, she would just constantly be like, Haley, you need to stop that right now. So I used to tap out songs all the time and stuff, so if you want to annoy people, that's a great option. But you know, also have to take care of your nails the best, because maybe your nails are sort of thin and break and stuff, and we'll get some nail strengthening stuff up in here if you like it. And do manicure and stuff. We're gonna do as much of this as you like as a test run, because that's fun. And you know, then you can really get a practical sense of it. You don't have to just flounder by yourself trying to figure out how to apply everything. So we'll do nails, we'll do makeup, we'll do everything, such as also brows. Like I said, I'm going to do some face shape drawing, so we can look through brows. I'll also show you a little brow chart, probably, that has a bunch of styles that you can pick from. And I will be happy to show you which kinds will be best for your face. But also, again, I want you to tell me what you do and don't like. You know, some people like a high arch, and some people really, really don't. And if you're a person who just really doesn't, and it would compliment your face, too bad. Face compliment, we'll figure something else out. You know, you don't have to have super arch. So we're just gonna work with what we have and what you like. Yeah, so makeup, nails, so makeup style and colors, nail style, colors, clothing styles and colors. So what styles are you going for? Are you trying to stay up on current trends? Do you need clothes specifically for formal wear, for business wear, for casual wear? What are you aiming for? Would you like winter clothes, summer clothes specifically, looking at whatever, everything, anything that you want to look at. Brows, hairstyling, like I said, if you'd like a little cut, that's the other thing, is I am a trained beautician in most things that you could possibly need. I can do hair, I can do makeup, I can do nails, I've got it all. So, I can give your hair a little bit of a trim, if that's what you would like, or I can give your hair a drastic haircut if you'd like, or I cannot touch your hair. Or I can touch your hair only to, you know, get it conditioned right, or to change the part, or whatever it is. Anything. You know. Truly just anything. And then also if you have any other stuff that you're interested in, like glasses, we can look at glasses shapes. If you'd like glasses, we can look at contacts and how that might affect how you're wearing clothes. If you've got, you know, glasses that you specifically do want to wear, I might take that into account in some measurements because of how that might sit on, like the glasses might sit on your face and affect things. You know, you may like your big glasses that sort of cover your brows, which is often not ideal, but if that's what you prefer, that's fine, and that should be something we take into account when we're doing your brows and some things like that. So, I think that's basically what we're looking at. I know that was a little bit disorganized, and I will email you with a better idea of what we're going to be doing, like, you know, my more specific agenda. And I would just ideally for me, you would just get back to me on when you're free and what you want to start with. So if you'd like to start with our measurements, we can. If you want to start with our color analysis, we can. Sketches, skin analysis, body face analysis, hair analysis. And we'll group some of these together and see, you know, what we can and can't fit together. So the measuring, we'll just plan to try to do all of the measuring in one sitting. You know, your face, your body, your hand measuring, your feet measuring. Also, taking into account your health, you know, your feet. Do you have, you know, you want to wear heels or something and you have like bad ankles, so maybe that's going to affect the type of heel you can wear in the height, but maybe we can still make it work, you know, things like that. So yeah, we'll consider measuring to be all together, but we might need to bump it and finish, you know, doing the hands and feet later or something like that. Or the various like body and face, hair, skin analyses. These kind of things go together a lot. The color analysis I would not include in those because that's definitely its own thing, but yeah, and, you know, sketch our photo shoot if that's what you choose to do. Those might be able to be done together, they might not. See, whatever you prefer, whatever we both have time for, and we'll work together. Like I said, me, you, and this measuring tape are going to be the best of friends for the next couple of weeks while we get this all sorted out for you. Okay? Does this all sound good? Yeah. I mean, this, like, chat between us is, if you decide you don't want to do this, I will totally refund you. Like, you might just say, this girl is all over the place. I don't know about this. You might say, I'm pretty sure this girl is like 13 years old. I'm not. So I'm not going to work with her. I'm not, don't worry. You know, things like that. So, you know, if you don't want to continue, that's fine. Let me know. You can let me know now. You can let me know later. It's pretty much once we start the other services, that's when the fees start kicking in. And as you know, those are also itemized. So we can remove things as well, or add them back. It's fine. It's all good. I'm here to work with you. I don't want to cheat you. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. I don't want you to be, you know, like to break the bank or anything. I want this to really work for you. So we're gonna work together. We're gonna do this. Me, you, this measuring tape, and this clipboard, to be honest, too. Okay? Okay, so I will see you in a couple of days, probably. Yeah? Okay, yeah, just call me, text me, reach out by email, whatever you prefer. And I'll get right back to you. Mm-hmm.